Hey, what's good, YouTube? It's Ronan, better known as Agent 317. I want to send a shout out to the Masculine Mercenaries, the Meta Mercenaries, 5150 Nation, Black Man Vent, YU Master on Radio, and all my peers and affiliates who are looking for make forward progress. You already know the deal. Scan that. Use the code Ronan10. Be a part of the A-Game lifestyle. That way you can be a beast in the streets, not right demon in the sheets. And there's receipts out there. Shout out to Lovely T for that word in the lexicon, but we'll talk about that much later. Today, I had to give my thoughts on the pump and dump phenomenon. As silly as it is, let's just really call it for what the fuck it really is. Honestly, it is fornication without foresight. Let me explain. See, back in 2005 all the way to 2010 even, many summers back to back. We ain't just talking about just the summers. I'm talking about summer to summer to summer to summer. Running through quite a few. Doing a lot of these goofy dudes wish they could do, but in a sense, that experience is kind of overrated, especially if you don't have any foresight of what you're doing. So when you're a slave to your foreskin, that's a problem. When you're not fucking the shit out of your purpose, and when you allow that Venus thigh trap to be your purpose and put it on a pedestal, it's a gateway to hell, in a sense. Now, by no means am I sitting here being the moral police and saying you should be chaste and all that. If you're a virgin, cool. Even though people try to make fun of you, all that stuff, they're operating on, a nonsensical platform to where they're irresponsible with their phallus, among other things. So I'll address you guys later, but I'm talking about all these raw dog specialists, these freestyle skeet experts. These guys who have mastered the Olympics, the five knuckle wind sprints, because they're in between thighs or whatnot, well, cheeks at the time. The whole pump and dump nonsense, if you out there support it loosely, it makes you an outright fucking hypocrite. Now, granted, as men, we go out here, we see a chick, without question. Some we are cool with, others like, look, yeah, I want to smash. Okay, cool. But you got to ask yourself and believe in that your intuition, that you get that feeling that something isn't right. Am I using the big head or the little head? Who's in control of this? And again, that reckless raw dicking that some of us do out here, we are the proponents of the same shit that we bitch and complain about out here in the streets. See, if we're talking about logic, as we always like to promote ourselves of being logical, here's a question I want to ask you. Have you ever heard of bank robbers tipping the valet during a heist? What I mean is, how can an individual steal your sperm when it was an inside job in the first place? Just because you had an agenda to clap them cheeks, who's to say she didn't have an agenda to let you in there and do what you do and get something out of you? See, most of us don't think about that. See, intuition is proactive, not retro. And in many experiences, I ran into situations where some I'm lucky I got out of. Where I had a chick who waited until, we were celebrating about the opening of our business. And, she waited because I made the mistake of taking in alcohol. And I'm talking about a whole heap of alcohol with some fruit in there called poodle punch. And I didn't eat anything to absorb it. So that was just raw alcohol hitting my stomach, which made me kind of nauseous and really put me in a bad state. So I wanted to go lay down. She waited until I was out of it to give me oral sex and burnt me with chlamydia. See, you don't have a lot of people talking to you about that, but that's one of many dangers that can do with this goofy pump and dump shit. Or let's just say I was proactive with a chick, and I caught a chick who was, before we even got into it, I came from the bathroom, and I seen her doing this with her back to the door, and then putting a condom on the dresser. So with me thinking like that, I said, okay, I'll still do what I need to do, but in the dark, I switched the condoms. The one that was sabotaged, I actually threw that in the trash. I got it later and really put it in a dumpster down the street. But the one I did have, I used it. And 2 weeks later, she called with attitude. She was expecting certain results. But see, that's the problem about being a tender dick. See, as much as we love that Venus thigh trap, we love the taste, we love the feel, we love the stuff that can be done in between that or even leading up to it. But shout out to Zoe Williams, there's a term we need to use as far as post-nut clarity. See, after all the fireworks are done, whether it be 15 seconds or whenever, what do you do when after all your fun is done and she tells you that she's late? So you don't hear that conversation when reality kicks you in the dick. What happens when you get this funny feeling? And I'm speaking from personal experience. It's something I never wish on a guy. But you happen to get an STI. Some you can get rid of, but nowadays there's some shit that's gonna stay with you for life. And you may be asymptomatic to where you're just spreading like wildfire and none the wiser. See, again, it's all fun. Yeah, there's some chicks who are outright some God-given porn stars. God bless them. But, to quote my brother Sheep Stay Sleep, we have to have some dick dignity and dick discipline. And personally, I say you need to value your dick minutes, because we do have those regrets with some chicks. We wish we could take a refund and get those dick minutes back. There's some chicks who are out there laying out there like it's like necrophilia with a pulse, and that's putting it loosely. See, again, I'm not an advocate of speaking against having sex with women per se. I'm just, when we're out there, we got to be responsible, because the only thing you should be going in raw is your purpose. You can shoot the club up with ideas and creativity and, fuel with A game all day, because you're going to produce something. That's what we're supposed to do. But see, when you like these old raw dick specialists who will jump with any and everything, who don't believe in quality versus quantity, then you'll have these tender dicks getting on panels and pissing and moaning about, she stole my sperm, and these thoughts are out here. And the fact that you want to sit there and throw your dick on the crap table and create a little bastard or another broken family, and then run away from that, and then have the fucking audacity to get on a panel and say like these chicks are out here thotting it up, that makes you a fucking hypocrite. That's why people can't take you seriously. So, as a fellow brother, I'm asking my young brothers, old brothers, and even those young at heart, smash responsibly. See, it's not you just, being careful about leading with your wallet, but you can stick your dick into something that can fuck up your legacy and then some, or fuck you out of the best quality of your life. Now, if you got a solid chick and you vetted her and she does all that crazy shit, the Chinese splits, fucking, she can do the hanging dragon, get on there and do donuts on your meat, hey, smash responsibly, because nowadays, especially, and unfortunately, a lot of OGs are not going to tell you, when you lay down with a chick, just for a brief moment, maybe beforehand, if we just happen to get up and adulthood happens to enter the fray, which is you kind of bidding on when you're just smashing recklessly, protection and otherwise, could I entertain the idea of this woman being a part of my life, not just for 18 years, but beyond? How do we get along with that? Because again, adversity will test you, both of y'all, but especially as men, because we're connected by design. And a lot of these bastards that out here in these streets, some of y'all jump started that shit with a loose wonton dick. Now, from personal experience, I did get a chick pregnant years ago, over a decade ago, and she was a thought. And it was a bad decision of my of my own doing, but it was a bittersweet situation when it was a life or death situation with twins I could have had versus being, her doing what she was going to do. Unfortunately, the twins had to go. Now, granted, in a sense, I dodged a bullet, but in true fashion, she was worried about getting up again, and she was on to the next dude, going to the club, while she was pregnant with another dude's baby. See, as men, when I say we fuck the shit out with purpose, it's not just what we do creatively, but if we get to do what we need to do to generate income and change laws and change the environment, because women naturally nest in their environment, then we're on to something. See, it isn't just pump and dump these hoes. You need to pump out greatness within yourself and dump the dumb shit that's been legislated here and then some. Make sure the women in your life become pregnant with purpose. Mainly your purpose if you're dealing with her. We gotta be smart out here, fellas, because you do understand when you knock up a thought, you've been got. Your reproductive rights are gone, or maybe we forgot about that in this space because we're worried about getting into some pussy and not worrying about doing what we can and not to use that thought box to turn us into pussies, which many of us are today, unfortunately. So while we do have time, we can change the momentum, we can change the narrative out here, because again, a lot of this goofiness, many of us had to own up to what we've done or what we're doing or we're allowing to happen. Yeah, sex is great, it's awesome, some of them are whack, but I'll talk about that later. But as I always say, it always takes a pussy to expose and control one. You have every right to choose, but you can't bitch about the consequences that you support via your actions and your commitment to it. So I also want to send a special shout out to 5150 chat room OG, DC The Truth 85. You need to check his channel out. He's doing his thing. He's been solid since day one. It's what it is. Same thing with Shango the Eternal and a legion of other brothers who are talking about doing the right things and finding their own lane and maximizing their time. So I know this went on a little bit long, but this is something that needs to be said because I'm sick and tired of guys pissing and moaning about pump and dump, and a lot of y'all are the same old chumps that started the shit. And keep it going. Smash responsibly, but don't fuck yourself out of greatness. With that, never let your comfort zone to become your coffin. Salute the game family. Be careful out there, guys. I'm out.